everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Mandy and I am a full-time reseller. Today's video, I am going to go over how to list maybe some tips or tricks on the app Depop. I am not an expert in this app by any means. I have sold 63 listings. I did just start heavily posting over there within the last couple months. But since I have been posting, I have been making some sales. I also looked at some of the top Depop sellers, kind of checked out their stores. I watched some YouTube videos of some other big sellers on Depop to accumulate some tips and tricks that I thought I could share with you guys. Unfortunately, I am wearing my glasses today, so you are kind of getting the reflection. I apologize for that, but my eyes are tired. So we'll start off with what is Depop and who normally is selling and or buying on Depop. It seems like it's mainly based on the younger generation, more Gen Z. I would say probably teen to mid-20s. I'm sure there are different age groups within the different categories. Like myself, I am going to be, how old am I going to be? I'm going to be 37 in October, so I don't fit into the Gen Z category, but I do sell on Depop because I am, curating what I am posting on there. So with that being said, what is going to be the best thing to sell on Depop and what are people looking for? I like to think that you want to keep it in very trendy items, vintage items, things that are unique. I probably wouldn't put more mature brands on there. Like I don't put J. Jill or Eileen Fisher unless it would be something that would fit into some sort of certain style aesthetic, but you can put on there whatever you would want. There is no fee to list anything like there is on eBay. So if you wanted to, import your whole Poshmark closet or eBay store or wherever you normally sell, you could definitely do that as long as it fits into what you can sell on Depop. So I did take a look at the categories that are available to sell in on Depop. It looks pretty similar to Poshmark. It's men, women's, children's clothing, and then they have quite an array of different categories. Like I'm looking at it right now. So we have home, tech accessories, beauty, camera and film, music, party supplies. I don't know how much of that's truly being sold, but like I said, it's, your decision what you want to put on there. So with Depop, they did just recently change their fee structure. I feel like everybody seems to be doing that recently. And they are considered no selling fees. So there is still a processing fee that you do pay when you are selling. That will show you once your item has sold. So when you're ready to list something and you're taking photos, I would say the number one tip that I have for you, do not use stock photos. You can lose your account very easily with Depop. That is one platform that does not play around when it comes to stock photos. I've heard of people not even getting warnings and their entire account is shut down. So make sure you do not use stock photos. They do recommend to have more of a stylish look or modeling of photos. I don't fit into a lot of the clothing that I'm selling, and I am personally just not somebody that wants to be modeling the clothes. So I just use the photos that I have on my other platforms. It would take way too long for me to take, certain stylized photos with different backgrounds and all of that specifically for Depop. If you are just a Depop seller, then maybe that wouldn't be a big problem for you. You can kind of be a little bit more artistic and play around with some of the photos. When it comes to the description, I use a cross-listing service, so it's going to take the listing that I already have in Poshmark and then bring it over to Depop. I will show at the end of the video how you list if you don't use a cross-listing service and you go strictly to the Depop website. So with the listing, you want to make sure that your description is good like all other listings. Make sure that you are noting any flaws. I will say that you do only get 8 photos, so make sure that there are 8 photos that count. I do like back, front, flaws, tags, and then anything that maybe is a little bit more unique to the item. Depop also uses hashtags and certain keywords. So we can look at the hashtags really quick. I've kind of played around with using hashtags and not using hashtags. From what I can tell, if you go, let's see. So I'm just going to click into this one right here. And this title is just women's white blouse. So then I come down here to see the listing. So then I come down here and I can see their description. So repop, I'm assuming is like they bought it and they're relisting it. I've never heard that term before. But anyways, Y2K Victorian style lace blouse. They have size small, belled sleeves, button all the way, pearl lined cape, measurements pictured, no new damages while in their possession. So now you see here they have white lace, glam, Y2K, coquette, modern, pre-loved. This I will show you when we do the actual listing, because these are all things that are preset into Depop. You just have to choose it from a drop-down. But these additional hashtags here are something that you can add. You can add up to 5. Pretty much everyone I've ever heard on YouTube says that they're very important. I personally don't use them just because I would have to go back in and edit every single one of my listings to put these hashtags in. So I was kind of fooling around with this just to see, if they really pull up just with the hashtag or if it pulls up with a word, like the same word that the hashtag is. So I'll explain it because I feel like I'm not explaining that well. So if I click this coquette hashtag, it is showing me here that there's over almost 800,000 listings with coquette in it. And I don't believe it's just the hashtag. So I went down here and I clicked on this sweater vest. So we have Gina Peters women's white and purple Gillette. Okay. Down here, size small, floral detailing with stacked button closure. It says coquette here, it says cottage, it says granny core. Nowhere do I see an actual hashtag. It also has coquette here as one of the pre-words that populates on the listing if you choose so. So to me, I'm assuming that that means if you have a listing with the word coquette in it, I don't know for sure if it's just in it or if you use it down here, that will also throw it into this here where it has the coquette hashtag. I don't know. If anyone knows if that is true or false, please let me know. But that is what my tips are with the hashtags. So in the description, make sure you have detail of the item that you're selling. I believe the return policy on Depop is similar to Poshmark, that if it comes and it is not as described, they have the option to return it. I was kind of looking a little bit. I couldn't quite find anywhere like whose responsibility it is to pay the return shipping. So that's another thing. If anyone knows, please put that below because I would like to know that. Another thing that you can use is boosted listings. So I will go to my profile here, and anyone that you see that has this little thing right here, this is a boosted listing. So that means it's similar to like a promoted listing. I need to go back in and do these. But one thing that I was told is once you list something, you should go right in and boost it right away. I don't know if there's truth to that or not, but some people say that that does help, push it to the very top. You do have to pay for the boosted listing only if it sells. Let's see if it'll show me. Let's see how much. Or I can go to one. We'll boost this one. Okay, so then you can click boost listing. If you have the app on your phone, you can do a few at a time. So this is telling me that the boosting fee is 8%, so it's going to be $2. So I'm just going to go ahead and confirm it, and now this one is boosted. And if we go to one of my older listings here, we'll see, what it's telling me of how many people have looked at it. So this one right here has had 11 clicks. So that's 175% more than when it was not boosted. And it's had 1,600 views. So I think it does help, especially with these keywords are becoming more popular. More people are using them. So it's similar, like I always use the word boho for an example. Years ago, that probably made your listing stand out because not everybody was using it. But now I feel like boho is just overly used. There's so many items that are tagged boho that your item can very easily get thrown down to the bottom. So if you use a boosted listing, it can help more people see the item. I have also heard that going in and editing your items and not doing anything to it and then listing it is kind of similar to relisting it. It's supposed to boost the item up in the algorithm. I don't know if that's true. There has been talks that that's not true anymore. There is talks that it is true. I personally don't do it. I will show you how to do it on the desktop. You can also do it on the app. So you're just going to hit edit and wait for everything to load and then come down here and just do save changes. Well, I got to put in. Okay. So then you just do save changes and it does what it needs to do. You can also do offers on Depop. You can kind of do like a mass offer. This one here, I think will send to everyone that has seen this dress. I don't want to do that right now because I did just send out quite a few individual offers on that. Let's see. This one looks like it is only this person. So I'll just send them a quick $20 offer. Offers are not binding on Depop. Someone can send you an offer, you can accept it, and they might just not pay for it. Same thing if you send them the offer, they accept it, they might not pay for it. That's just how Depop works. I hope that in the future they change that because it is quite irritating, but as of now, they do not. So now I'm going to show you how you would put a listing up. So you would put your photos in here. You'd put in your description here. So let's just say we have like a, I don't even know, just like a preppy top. That would kind of be my title. I'm sure it would be way more than this. And then you just put in like Abercrombie, pink polo, preppy, Y2K, 2000s, top, size small, you know, whatever it's going to be. So then you go to your info and you are going to do, for this one, it has all the different options. So men, then you have your tops, bottoms, coats, etc. So we're going to scroll down to women's, do tops. And this one does have polo shirts as an option. You can fill out all the fields. I don't always normally do it just because I don't know if it's completely beneficial. So let's just fill out everything in case someone does want to do that. An occasion for this, I guess, would be school. You can put up to 3 in here, just kind of, you know, pick what you think works. We'll say that this was cotton, body fit. I would leave it if it's just a normal fit because it's not maternity, it's not petite, tall, or plus size. Brand, we'll put in Abercrombie and Fitch. If it's a brand that is not within this drop down, you're just going to put other. That is an option. For condition, make sure you're putting in the correct what it is. If it's, you know, kind of beat up, definitely don't put used excellent, but we'll just use that. Size, you're going to put in, you know, whatever it may be. We said small. I only have 1. So then the color, you can use 2. So what did we say? It was pink. Source. So now we're into source. So vintage, pre-loved, reworked, custom, handmade, dead stock, designer, repaired. So this one I said it was from the 2000s, so we can do vintage, and then age, we can put in 2000s. It does have modern, and then it goes all the way to 50s, and then antique. So we'll do the 2000s. Style tags. These are the pre-populated ones I was talking about. So if you are not familiar with a lot of style tags or, you know, trending keywords, this would maybe be a place to start. To go into this drop-down box, kind of play around on Depop or Google or wherever you get, you know, your information from, or even Poshmark. Put these keywords in so you can kind of see examples of what they mean so that you have a better idea of what you should be selecting for the items that you have, or if you're outsourcing and you are doing style-based sourcing. This has become a huge trend right now on YouTube. There are millions of videos of people talking about style words, keywords, the cores, all the different aesthetics. So that's definitely something that you can check out. So we have streetwear, sportswear, loungewear, goth, retro, boho, western, indie, skater, rave, custom or costume, cosplay, grunge, emo, minimalist, preppy, avant-garde, punk, glam, regency, casual, utility, futuristic, cottage, fairy, kidcore, Y2K, biker, gorbcore, twee, and coquette, and whimsy goth. So you can pick up to 3. So we had what? Preppy, that was 1. I'm probably going to do like preppy, probably go in with, I mean, like I said, this is a made up shirt. So we'll just say Y2K, and then probably casual. Okay, so those are our 3. So now you'll have to put in a city that's closest to you. I just use Madison. It's not very close to me, but it's a pretty big city in Wisconsin. So that's just what I use. We'll block out my address here. So then you're going to want to know how much everything weighs. If you are using shipping through Depop, these are your options. So it'll be 4 ounces and under, it's $4.49, 8 ounces and under, $5.49, 12 ounces, $6.29, a pound, $7.99. This is where it gets to be pretty pricey, especially if you have shoes, boots, coats, that kind of thing. If it's under 2 pounds, $11.69, and then $13.99 for under 10. So I guess if you had something, you know, closer to the 10 mark, 13 isn't the worst. I do use the Depop labels just because it's easier for me. I know a lot of people do use their own shipping, which you can do. Let's see where you can flip that. You can do other, and then you are going to put in what your price is going to be. So I would have some sort of, you know, a pretty good handle on where you're located in the country. If you are on one of the coasts, just keep in mind it could cost more to send something from California all the way to Pennsylvania. If you are kind of more central, then, you know, it's not as bad. So just make sure you have a pretty good understanding of how much it potentially could cost you to send something. You don't want to put, you know, $4 if it's a 3-pound pair of boots, because it's going to be pricey. So anyways, you would put in your shipping price here. I do not offer worldwide shipping. I don't know enough about that right now, so I don't. So we'll just pretend we have this, and then we'll just say it was a 12-ounce shirt. That is in there. So now we are going to go here and just go to post. So that will make your listing live. Then I go back in and boost it. I was looking at their terms of service and kind of like questions that they have on the website. They did have a little bit of information about bundles. I didn't know that you could do bundles on Depop. So I guess you can put, let's just find somebody. Okay, so I'm going to visit their shop so that I can put 2 items in a bag. So we'll just put add to bag for this one. And put this one in the bag as well. And then we will see what this looks like. So you're going to check out with 2 items. It tells you estimated shipping. I don't know how they have theirs set up. But from the seller's side, there wasn't very much information. It pretty much told me that if you have 2 items that are bundled, let's say they were both that 4-ounce mark, so it was 2 small items, it will bump it up to the medium one. It didn't say what would happen if it was more than that in shipping. Like, are you going to get the cost? Is the buyer going to get a note from the post office that there's postage due? Does Depop eat the cost? So that was nowhere to be found on their website, so I'm not exactly sure what happens in that instance. So that is all the information I have on Depop. I think I covered all of the bases from what I know. I'm sure there's a lot more information out there, but I'm a smaller Depop seller. I am trying to up the inventory that I do have on Depop. I don't put everything over there, so that's kind of why it's not as big as my eBay store or my Poshmark that has around 1,300 items. I just don't think it's worth it for me or the time to sit there and cross-list a lot of items that I just don't think are going to be popular over there. With any other platform, I think that the amount of items that you do have in your store or your closet, I'm not sure what they call it on Depop, does matter. I always use the analogy that if you walked into a store and there was only 20 items there, the chances of you finding something within those 20 items is going to be a lot lower than if you walked into another store and it has 2,000 items, and that's just kind of how it is, unless it's something that's super in demand, super trendy, that pretty much everyone is looking for. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.